You are in for an interesting ride.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment with the wonderful Nigel Wright. I want you to welcome him as he now takes us through some of the incredible shots that he has taken with this new software. I'm going to let Nigel explain all about that to you, but we're going to start with the first one. So welcome, Nigel.
Right.
Thanks for being here.
This shot is a 2020 shot that was done with the Samsung S5. Hence the reason it's such a small one to begin with. Here we go up. I don't know quite. When we had it unenhanced, it just looked like it was a striped blob. It's not until you actually bring it up that you see this has got a definite structure. You can see that it's got, I think, some sort of piping tanks, maybe. There's a big tank type thing at the front. Down here, if you go down to the front left, see that large, just below it, there's a rounded tank type thing there. And at the back, you've got more piping and possibly engines, who knows. But I think it's definitely a fashioned mechanical object.
And where did you see this one, Nigel?
This again was seen over Heysham village, which is just south or southeast to be exact, of Morecambe on the Morecambe Bay coast in Lancashire, northwest.
Can you tell us what is special about Heysham?
Well, Heysham has got a nuclear power station, and a very big nuclear power station. Two, it's the site of one of the very first Christian chapels in this part of the world. St. Patrick himself is supposed to have founded it. It's got some unique stone-cut graves that date back to the Viking times. Morecambe has been, throughout the centuries, a scene of raiding, shipwrecks, shipbreaking. It's got a volcanic fault line that goes from the bottom of the Lake District across to, believe it or not, underneath the nuclear power station, which is interesting. A defunct, redundant old fault line. Of course, we got into the news because of the fracking that went on just between Preston and Heysham. There was a experimental government fracking license granted, and we ended up with some minor earthquakes. So much so that they had to stop the fracking and close the site down. So it's been an interesting sort of place to live. But this particular lights in the sky over Heysham, I thought was a one-off. Turns out it's a record of it right back to the 60s. Since the nuclear power station had been built, they've been seeing these lights. And they used to call them the station lights. It made the local press.
Is it still an operational nuclear?
Yes, it is. Very much so. It has two reactors, and there is a third one planned. Now, the difference to that is that the third one that they're planning is going to be of the new type of one that's cold fusion. So in other words, it's non-radioactive. It will not emit radioactivity. You can actually have one of these in a kitchen. It is absolutely safe, but it is very much experimental. It's the first one being built in England. Now we come to this famous one. Now this, again, 2020 was a busy year. We had clear skies. I had just discovered that the S5 was good at taking this sort of shot. So if you hear me saying 2020 a lot, it's because I took a heck of a lot of shots. These are the ones I'm working my way through now with the new upgrading of the AI enhancement. As we can see from this, again, it's mechanical. It has a structure and a form, actual building or construction work inside this outer grid, which I think is quite clear to anyone. A spiral grid form. The interesting thing about it is you can't see, if you look at the top right here, you cannot see maybe a bit of electromechanical structure on the inside of the grid. But as you work your way down, there seems to be very little. It reminds me of the national power grid line, the big pylons. It's very similar, sort of. This one's got a spiral built into it, which is quite nice. Samsung S5. It's quite a dated phone now. It has, I think I'm saying it's one lens. It's about 12 megapixels. So it's not an immensely powerful one, but it's a handy one because it's got a small sensor, which is the reason why I have to do such intense remagnification over two different apps to try and get any detail out to a decent size. With the app that I had, which was Photoshop Express, you had to say maximum screen size of about 10 inches. And beyond that, and it would pixelate, it would distort, it would fog up, and you'd lose any idea. It wouldn't be worth doing.
And we've seen that when we come right in, there's no pixelation there.
The reason for that is because it's been redone through the AI. And the AI now is a new, I'm going to
Remini.
REMINI. Yeah,
Remini.
it's made the difference that now this actual AI not only compensates and declouds, demists thing, it also deconstructs the image and reconstructs it and add additional pixels if you think it needs it. The difference is you can blow the image up without distortion, and I blew it to 40-inch screen, not distorting, and that is amazing.
So this has just simply been put through the Remini AI software.
Well, it's a mixture. I've got a system of doing it. I have put this up on my Facebook if anyone's interested. Where'd they come from? What was it like? How did you do it? So what I've done is I've done photo by photo. I did a 4 or 5 post section where I took every photo of every step I took and explained exactly how I cross-fed the images over to get to where I am now.
So Nigel, just tell me about this one. When you took this picture, what actually were you looking at? Was it like a dot in the sky? Is that what it looked?
Technically, it was like a very medium-ish sort of star, very small. And if you look at the image, it literally looks like a small dot. And when you put it through Adobe Photoshop, it'll bring it up to a still fairly small image, but it will bring up some detail. Cross that one over and start imaging it with the AI. That'll bring in the detail and the extra pixels, brings out the detail beautifully. But then I would feed that back to the Adobe. I'm sort of crisscrossing them over, and between the two of them, they're producing really good results at high definition. I'm very surprised, and I'm very chuffed about it.
I think it's really exciting. If you're looking at these, even these are still quite big images.
I've used Adobe Photoshop research and for trying to investigate paranormal shots in general, ghosts, UFOs, big cats. I have been using Adobe Photoshop, the original one, since 1996. So what I know now, I've learned the hard way. This is the best type of enhancement I think I've ever come across, down to the tech, down to the artificial intelligence, the AI. It's a one-button program. It seems to really boost the quality and the pixelation of the image. Makes it 10 times, 20 times easier. The twisted bagel.
It just looks incredible, doesn't it?
It's an amazing piece of constructed machinery. I mean, I don't know what else you'd call it. If it's either artwork or it's practical machinery, or it's got some symbolism that we don't understand, because that's an immense amount of design and engineering gone into that.
And it looks like it's immense.
It must be pretty big, because again, we're looking at 2020, and again, we're looking at taken by the S5 Samsung. Brilliant camera, lovely little camera, but very small sensor, and not a brightly immense lens. You know, it's a built-in mobile phone lens. You can't expect miracles. And at the date it was made, obviously your image is going to be very small. And it was. I mean, literally, if you were to look at it as it was taken, it would be smaller than what you've got there.
Again, in the Hincham area?
Again, it was over Heysham Village, just slightly to the left of the power station. That whole area seems to have an attraction for these things. I don't know why, what the fascination was before the nuclear power station was there. I just loved the aesthetics of it. Whoever designed these, whoever, whatever built them, has got some grand, fantastic art. My father was an engineer and as well as a photographer, and so I've got part artist, part engineering, tech drawing likes.
Where is the colour coming from?
There is something to do with enhancement here. I do put a tinge of gold, it's very slight, on a black and white enhancement. Now, the reason I do that is for a very light gold like that, it brings up more detail, gold filtration on it, just so you can see more detail. If you look on the right-hand side, for instance, where I dip down, you see that there are some detail there about something inside the actual framework, down in the nose, I presume it's the nose, on the right-hand side there, and you can see where the crisscross girdlework meets at the very top there. There seems to be some sort of machinery, and that golden filtration has brought out that little bit of detail.
What an amazing job, Nigel.
Well, thanks. As I said to you before, I've been a ufologist for 55 years, and these are some of the best results I've ever taken. But more than anything, I just put it down to good AI technology. Enhance things like this from a long way away, very small objects relative to space. Isn't it great? Over Heysham. Again, same mode setup. I'm a very solid old fashion sort of guy. It's a Gorilla Mini tripod, wide open bedroom window, which overlooks Heysham. Heysham is not terribly well lit apart from the power station, so you haven't got an awful lot of light pollution. I even got a remote control for the S5, which I'll plug in just on a thumb release on a cable. fully automatic because there was no professional setting on the S5. It was either fully on automatic or on daytime setting or whatever. Now the S21, which that's got a professional manual setting, so you can still use it on automatic. I rely on the enhancement to do that.
Let's go to this next shot, which is pretty astonishing, I think. Here we go. So
Again, look at the size. If you look at the original size, you go down and down, and you could keep going down, and you get to somewhat the original size. That's how much enhancement one has to do.
What the heck is all of that?
It's just awe-inspiring. Space Force and Donald Trump's secret army. We all know the conspiracy theories about the Americans have had a Space Force for years. We don't know half what goes on. They got faces on Mars. We've all read the stories. This is all part of the black technology where the tax dollars disappear to.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. This reminds me of Celtic art. It's a beautiful thing to look at. You've got that crisscrossing girder effect on the top right. Beautiful sort of curved Celtic brooch stroke handle.
Now this does look something like.
It looks like a Star Wars machine.
You know, actually, you know, Nigel, this reminds me a little bit of that craft that's seen above the lintel in the pyramids. That suddenly reminds me of it.
Some either antenna or weaponry on the top there. It could be antennae. It could be anything, because we're dealing with technology we don't understand.
So can you tell us, Nigel, is this being put through Adobe and Remini?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Originally, it was put through Adobe Photoshop Express. I put it through AI enhancement and Adobe combined. And hopefully taking the best of both and combined them to produce this.
And these look like vents out here, don't they? I mean, on the
right, do.
Like a sky whale.
Very weird. But I like the idea of this one-piece body. If you look at the curves, it's got like a look of a cast iron or cast alloy body where it's just all in one. There's no joins. I don't know whether it's, again, I'm looking at it through a 6.1 screen here, but in 40 inches, it must look absolutely great.
And look at this guy.
It's got some sort of bronze stroke alloy coloring of a hood or a covering there up towards the back. Different sort of material used for the sail at the back and of the main body underneath.
Look at this bit coming down at the front.
I have no idea.
And they're also very different.
And I tell you, the interesting part of all is you can take 5 photographs on automatic shutter for burst shot, where you can take 5 within about 2 or 3 seconds, and everyone will come up with a different shape. Same image, same light, different shape. Just like they're shape shifting, microseconds in between. It's an amazing thing. I've never seen anything like it.
Absolutely amazing. Let's have a look at the next one.
The Klingon warbird, beautiful, isn't it?
It is, and these lines are so clear.
Late 20, so we're getting up towards Christmas time, 2020. Yeah, again,
it's beautiful, Nigel. Isn't it interesting that you said, which I didn't know, that there was a fault line running close by there?
As I say, it's a long, redundant one. It's from the time when the Ice Age, the last Ice Age, when the lake districts, the lakes were formed, the big valleys, and the ice cut the lakes and the valleys out, and then came across the bay and ran out of.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. It's just a remnants. But yes, you're right. It is interesting because it could be an Earth energy field.
It's absolutely fascinating. It really is.
Then you're crossing into my other interest in life, which is Earth energies in areas of high strangeness. So,
well, I know as a journalist, you will be au fait with getting that done, but it's still an onerous task.
It's setting your own deadline, 2,000 words a day. And at that rate, it'll take me 12 weeks to write an 80,000 page book.
Just to give people an idea of what 2,000 words a day looks like, it's about 4 pages of A4.
Yeah, it's your average magazine article in a mainstream glossy mag. How do I know? Because I used to write them.
Yeah. This is the guy.
Again, doesn't it remind you of Celtic art?
It's extraordinary. It's like I don't know, it's like a spiral or a helix or.
I wonder what this for is. I think it's still part decorative or ceremonial or cultural. We're looking at, I think we're looking at either a dimensional civilization or an ET civilization, so different to our own that even the architecture and the design is unlike anything we've got in our civilization at all.
It kind of looks very organic, doesn't it?
It does. It looks part organic, very artistic.
90-degree angles there. You've got beautiful curves here.
Yeah.
So again, Nigel, where are we still in 2020?
Yeah, this is 2020. Probably it could even be into the beginning of January, February 2021. Majority of the ones to now are from 20 and 21. I worked with the S5 for about 10 years.
Look at this guy.
Again, same year, 2021. This is going into 21.
Yeah.
Same S5, same area, Hesham, same sort of MO, small light into street, but it was moving slowly across the sky, which gave me a thought. I thought, well, I don't know a star does that. Maybe it's a satellite. See, some of this could be space debris. I'm fully open to that idea that it could be space junk. Yeah.
This reminds me of kind of a golf club the other way up.
Now, there we are. See, now look that
at
gold coloration on that one was natural. I didn't put that on. That was as it was.
So no color filtration.
Not on that one, no.
Wow, it's a real bronzy color. Wow.
Isn't it beautiful? Again, you've got this
Stunning.
This one on the left-hand side, you see. I tend to think that is like a living area. The rest of it is mechanics, propulsion, or whatever. But I think that's the living area, the larger bit. But there again, I'm looking at it from a human perspective.
That's all we can do.
We've got to estimate, guesstimate, attempt to try and understand what's going on.
Isn't it?
But it's hard.
It is beautiful. I just look at this gorgeous thing.
Again, it's just saying it's a shape. People have said to me since they've seen them that they've seen UFOs similar.
You know
People
what?
have seen
Some of the
images
remind me of the John Leonard Walsam's work. I don't know if you have come across his work.
I've heard of it, but I haven't actually come across it, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, it definitely reminds me of modern art. People say, oh, that has got to be distortion. If it was distortion, they would have some similarity, and there's none. Totally different structure base. I mean, the place on the left, you've got some sort of a platform maybe on the end. On the right-hand side, you've got fins, some sort of stabilization. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know it's a beautiful looking thing. Must be a fair size. I'm looking at something hundreds of meters long, if not more. A slight coloration on that. It was pure black and white. I put a little bit of gold in. So again, I wanted to see if there's any machinery within the lattice work.
Yeah.
But I can't see much.
And this, I thought this was wow.
As you see on the upper side there, it's like an entranceway.
Yes, it does.
Recess.
Like that.
You actually see detail within. And it goes down, and there looks to be some sort of carving on the walls and the floor.
This looks designed.
I don't see how anyone can say that's distortion, because it remains constant as you increase it. The actual proportion remains completely alike. You know, this is something else. When it came up, I thought, what on earth?
What the heck?
It looks like something out of a car wreck, doesn't it? First off, you think, oh, good grief, it looks like a car engine has exploded. It was deliberately designed and built that way. I don't know. It reminds me a bit now, looking at it, I'm speaking as I think here, of a beehive. Beehives look haphazard, but they're designed.
A colony.
There's an intelligence behind it. Look at the bottom that's there. It's got a definite interior structure. There's a wall partitioning system going on there of some sort. And I'm sure if I were to do close-ups of sections, I'd find more detail within the detail. You could go on forever.
What did this look like when you first photographed it? Was
exactly the same as most of them.
Yeah.
Again, it's S5, so it only appeared through the on screen. You can see it with the naked eye. And it just happened. I was looking for the star. Thought it was a star. Couldn't find that, but what I did find was a very dim-looking object, visible only on the screen. And when I enhanced it, that's what was on. It's like a treasure hunt. I do get failures. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I think, wow, that's terrific. And I look it up and it's a piece of rock or it's an aircraft or something. You know, I make mistakes too. I'm happy to share them with whoever wishes to see them, because I'm getting some marvelous feedback from people who are professionals.
I have to say, this does look engineered.
I've got a marine engineer, highly qualified marine engineer. And he said, these are engineered structures. You can see that there is a purpose, a design, an engineering. Now, I saw the 3 stars, or what I thought they'd be. To be honest with you, I thought they may be an FT, flying triangle, and it was moving slowly. This one was moving over Morecambe Bay. Well, I'll take this. I snapped away while I was so gradually, quickly doing this. And unfortunately, this is all but. There's a big but. You see the middle upper one on the... You go to the right-hand side. That's it. Now, I blew that up the other day. It seemed to show a structure.
Right, and I think we got that one.
It's interesting. What I thought was a flying triangle type UFO isn't. It's 3 different things there. Now, isn't that beautiful?
This is stunning.
Isn't that the most aesthetically, artistically beautiful image ever?
And did
What
you
it is
put
again?
the blue on it?
No,
Oh, you did?
no, we haven't. This is natural.
Oh,
You see, you got the beautiful curves on the top, but
yes.
underneath, if you look down there, angled engineering. There, look, that is an engineered in there.
I mean, it just looks like it, doesn't it? It looks part creature, doesn't it?
I think it could be right, you know. I think it could be living AI.
Yeah. You know that they do say that people who've been on the crafts say that they are living structures.
Yeah, this is how it looked to begin with. These were the first attempts at trying to get it. If you see the one on the left, you can see the shape.
Yeah.
That's before we had much of the AI or the Adobe on it. Brought it up to sort of that sort of thing. The AI has increased it. It's the same image, just working.
That's amazing, isn't it?
See, it's starting to materialize from that. We managed to clear up the pixelation, and then the further to right again, you start seeing the shape come through, and you can see the natural color. That is not at all filtered. That is natural as it was. Yeah.
And tell us about this one, Nigel.
This one's daylight. This was seen coming over from the easterly direction from the Irish Sea out in towards Morecambe Bay. I saw this thing, it was high up, and I thought it was an aircraft. Now, I took the snap, and I thought it was an interesting shape. Well, I'm thinking it's an experimental fighter of some sort, because BAE Engineering is at Preston nearby. They've got about 4 or 5 airfields. They do run their experimental craft up. We saw the Eurofighter flying around here long before it was released. This interests me, but unfortunately, the AI didn't seem to like it very much. And I'm wondering if it's got some sort of electromagnetic shielding on it, because
or some kind of plasma body around it.
I don't know. So it could be just some sort of electric shielding or electromagnetic shield that stops you getting a distinct image.
Now, this one looks the most. Now, tell us about the colorization and where this was.
Right. Well, the color, there was color there already.
Right.
There was, these colors were there. They weren't as distinctly separated as they are here, because mystifying, which you get on low intensity pixelation. All the AI did was separate the coloring into its quadrants and make it richer. Yes, there is enhancement, but it's an enhancement of a natural coloration already. So what you see there is the colors. And look at the I know I keep on about the aesthetics of a thing, but
it's extraordinary.
It's beautiful at the same time.
Again, are we talking about Heysham? Are we talking about more?
Yes, this is over Heysham village. Yeah.
Wow.
Between the village and the power station again, that one area of sky, which seems to suffer an awful lot of appearances on clear nights. Again, it's had it on cloudy nights when there's been a complete cloud cover, and yet I see one of these star-sized lights in the sky, in front of the cloud. So I know that it's not astronomical. Yeah.
So beautiful,
isn't it?
I mean, it's like a huge flower on both ends. So maybe it's something to do with a power plant that gives it the color.
I think if you look at the right-hand side, but if you look at that fin at the very end, look, you've got some sort of intake.
Are we talking about this one? Oh, yes.
Yeah, up at the top there.
Yeah.
Like an air intake core. Now you can see what I mean. This was the original image on the left, top left. That's how it was. Go to the top right. That was taken on the S21. So this is the more modern one. But this one's got a better lens. This one's got I think it's 24 meg. It's quite a good lenses on this. It's the 3 or 4 lenses, and it's on night shot. So already it's on pro, it's on night shot. It's on the top right is the first stage of magnification on the lens, pure and simple. That's without any enhancement. So you can see the coloration there in the bare image. Now, if you're going down below, you'll see this is done with the Adobe. This is the Photoshop Express. First stage on the left, second stage, third stage, going from left to right. And then you take that third stage. That's the one I've just run through the AI.
Wow. And
that's where you get the large one we just had a look at, is the final one out of the AI. That's what the AI is telling me is there. Filtration at all.
18th of March. Is that this year, Nigel, or last year?
Yeah, it will be this year. I've had the S21 since about February.
This
Again,
very Dali-esque.
It's the weirdest thing. And I started to quiz myself when this came out. I thought, this looks almost like a painting. You will see what looks suspiciously like a hinge. Just on the top, just below there. That's it. See 2 plates joined together there? It's almost like a hinge.
how different every single image we've looked at.
Yeah. It's like a whole world of art and design and technology that we have no idea what it is. This is an interesting one.
This
Now,
looks
the
very Art Deco.
filtration on this is very slight. The
Oh.
only filtration I had on this was actually to decrease it because it looked like a painting. It was too vivid. I wanted to decrease it a little bit so I could see a bit more of the detail of the structure itself, because the color was overwhelming it. It was it had a cloud of color. If you go into the middle section, just drop down a bit. See that just underneath that left-hand side there? There, as on that left-hand inner side of some sort of carving or.
That is wild, isn't it?
This is done on the AI. That's the beauty of this program, is it's showing up detail that you couldn't get with the Adobe. The Adobe just wouldn't produce that sort of image. You've got an inner side on the right there. There's some sort of.
You know, they say art is life, don't they? I wonder what this is.
I think it's a culture based on art.
Wow.
No, this is a good one, isn't it? Now this has slight goldy filtration, but a very low level. You're looking at about 10 or 15%, just to bring out some of the detail on the inside surfaces, because if you do it in black and white, it tends to wash it out a bit. I mean, I like the right hand side again. You've got recesses here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
Unfortunately, it goes too dark into the pit there, a bit deep, and I couldn't get any detail of what's actually underneath at the bottom of here. Definitely something there.
I just can't get over how different every single one of these structures is.
I'm amazed. I've been amazed at what I found. Going back through the old images, and this was an old image, this is a 2020, re-enhanced it again to see if I could bring out any more detail, and it's starting to reveal again the same sort of symmetry, the same sort of curves.
We've got an interesting thing right on the top there as well.
Yeah, and if you see the curving line of that side, it's like looking at a reflex bow. It's beautiful. And people said it was a car. Someone said to me it looked like a Fred Flintstone floating in space in a Fred Flintstone car. This is the 21 one that was done with the S5. This is an old image, but I have enhanced it with the AI. But originally it was done with Adobe Photoshop Express. I use the same process all the time. In 2021, my friend used to call this the Viking staff, which I think is good.
I mean, this is really crazy.
Again, it's been reprocessed through the AI from the original Adobe. Somebody wrote in and said they'd seen a UFO like this, and they described it as a Viking-esque head, a Viking type head on it.
Just stunning.
It is beautiful. And see there again, on that part of the body, that flat part there, go down slightly past the hatching there. There's a flat surface, it's like gold there.
Oh yeah.
And I think if you bring that up, I would be totally surprised if there's some sort of marking on that. You could spend all day just looking at it, because it's like walking around an art museum.
It really is. Oh look, this is that other picture.
Ah, this is the one inside the entrance.
And we can see this detail here. This is much clearer.
Again, remastered on the AI. But that is the original shot remastered again.
So this is on the Remini.
Yeah.
AI software.
That is a distinct entrance, I think. I like the way they work the spiral into the body. It's beautiful, because if you look, that edge, they're not precise, not by a long way.
And look at this bit here. There's a perfect circle of something, like a rivet. It reminds me of.
I've been looking at that entrance and trying to think to myself,
yes, here.
I wonder what it's an entrance to.
I think this was the one you were talking about when you said you remastered an image of this, of a similar shape. Am I right?
Yeah, this is, again, it's taken, unfortunately, I can't seem to get it demisted.
Look at the top of it, Nigel.
Yeah, that's the only bit of detail I can really get on it.
It actually looks like there's light up there, like light within the structure.
I see a hole in the middle. There's a portal, an entranceway. Is it a floating entranceway to a portal? Who knows? But there you go. But to tell you the truth, this body, this aerodynamic shape, just blew me away when it came out. I love the tail end on the right-hand side, because it finishes up in a sort of a
really formation at the back. Almost perfect, isn't it?
It's beautiful. I'm wondering if we're looking at different races, because they're all different sort of shapes and patterns. And I'm wondering if there's more than one civilization involved. It is, again, a 21 picture that I've remastered in original Adobe. Look at that detail on that top centerpiece. That is like a relief. That little hook, eyelet shaped thing there. So much more detail hidden away in that dark section on the
Yeah.
left. I think that there is far thicker than just that one line going down.
Yes, there's some other material here going
Yeah,
on,
there's a lot
or
more material
something.
there. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
this is where it gets really interesting, because if you look on that top left side, there is definitely some sort of either artwork. There is
But this
something.
looks like a face, doesn't it?
There is some sort of either artwork, machinery, or something that's covered over. These are covering plates, I think, these lighter plates. They're covering up something underneath. There again, look, on the middle of the work or symbolism or machinery of some kind.
Look at all this. That looks like a little doorway almost, and
Art and machinery combined.
it may reconfigure itself moment by moment.
Well, yeah, we do know things like that in ufology. Shape-shifting is a well-known phenomenon. Love doing them now. I'm finding myself obsessed with these.
You've only just started using Remini, haven't you?
I have used Adobe for years, but not Remini. I mean, Adobe Express I've used now for at least 2 or 3 years, and Adobe Photoshop I've used for over 20. Remini I've only had for a couple of weeks. I mean, look at
It has a look of a face to me.
It has a look of erosion on that right-hand piece. That's been eroded by something. But that centerpiece is crisp relief, and it's, Lord knows.
Did you colorize it, Nigel?
No, that is exactly as it came out of the enhancement. Zero filtration on that. Contrast a little bit to give it a bit more crispness in the definition. Focus was sharpened, and clarity. That was it. The light was decreased a little bit because it was a bit too bright, because whoever it was in direct sunlight, the brightness down a bit, and put the contrast in. But that's it. No filtration of color at all.
I mean, how did you feel when you started seeing this incredible stuff?
I had a 9-year-old child feel on Christmas Day morning when it sees a presents. No, I didn't. No, this is the beauty. This to me, it screams Celtic art. I can imagine that being on the blade of a Viking knife.
This is now me blowing it up, magnifying it to 700% as we go through.
And that's as crisp as it comes, isn't it?
And did you colorize this?
Nope.
No gold at all
Again,
on this one.
No, it's just simple light, brightness, contrast, and sharpness. That's all. The basic.
I mean, my goodness, what is all this astonishing stuff?
I think it's a sign of a statement. Cultures told by their art, and I think this is. That has taken some workmanship to do that.
Absolutely stunning.
It is.
I mean,
thank you. It is. Again, I can only take part of the credit for this. Most of the credit goes to the AI and enhancement program. It brings out such good detail on things.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting. Over on the right-hand side, there's a little blip of light just beyond it.
Yeah, I think there are a lot more things to be discovered about these images yet, and I'm sure far cleverer people than myself will get hold of them and discover a few more secrets. I hope they do. I'm looking forward to people doing it. This is why I published a step-by-step instruction of what I've done, so people can see that there's no silly playing around being done.
Here we've got a most extraordinary looking object.
Now this is part gold-colored filtration. I did not put the red in. The red was already there. I did not put the light brown in. That was right. The gold is my addition. The slight gold, to see if there's any marking on the smooth surfaces. It doesn't appear like there is.
Oh, that above there, that looks almost misty, or maybe it's some fine structure, or
I don't know what it is. It's a maze, isn't it?
Wow.
Isn't it a maze?
Yeah, look at this.
What can one say? You can talk about the aesthetics of it. You can talk about the design of it. You can try and hypothesize about what the actual purpose of it is.
An astonishing piece.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it is.
When was this, Nigel, and what camera?
21. This was taken originally 2021. Most of it was during lockdown. So you're looking 20 to 21.
So this was over Heysham?
Yeah, 2/3 or more is taken over Heysham.
Wow.
I don't know what it is about that area, but they certainly like it.
It's got a nuclear power plant, and if there is a fault line there, and water, of course.
Yeah, it has been the center of civilization for a long, long time as well. It was a very big Viking settlement.
Yeah, a huge Viking settlement. Yeah, amazing. And look at this
then.
piece. Wow. So tell us what you did with this one.
AI enhancement. You're looking at coloration. No, I did not color that at all. That red was a total shock to me. It went in a straight black and white, it's like, you know, as you can see, it's like creamy color. AI did it came out with that red from nowhere. I did not add that at all. That is what sort of civilization created that?
I know, and as we've said before, everyone is different. I haven't seen anything that's even. So here's that same image, because look, there's that.
He turned around.
So this is. But you see how
one of these shape-shifting images, one after the other. So obviously it's rotated around.
Yeah, these are massive, aren't they? I mean,
they are big. Yeah, whatever it is.
These have got to be miles. Do you think miles and miles in length?
Well, I would say it's probably getting on for about the same length as an oil tanker, at least.
Yeah.
At least. It's clean and synthetic lines. It's aerodynamic. It's got the look of a craft, hasn't it?
Well, I don't know how we get to prove anything here, because
I like to think that people will be able to just make their own suppositions about it.
Look at this one, Nigel. This is amazing.
Again, same time, 2021. Again, I did not do the coloration on this.
Oh, really?
Nope. There's no coloration added to that at all. Simple enhancement technique of clarity, focus, and contrast, brightness. That's it. Because of the white light, it had the sun on it again, and it was just white everywhere. You could hardly see it. It was being shined out over bright. So I just took the brightness down, and that was it.
So when you took this shot, Nigel, again, are we thinking that it just looks like a point of light in the sky?
Yeah, if you're going down, look at that. That is, somebody said to me, that's a pyramid. I know. It's in.
Well, it's a pyramidal structure to some degree. What the other side of it's like, I don't know.
And
but
that again is natural coloration.
Okay.
There's no filtration on that. No. I'm quite happy to say when I do use filters, but that's got no filtration on it at all. Simple enhancing again.
Your jaw must have just dropped open when you started seeing what was.
I have. Yeah.
Look at this. This is one of my favorite. I don't know why. I think this is stunning.
This was just a blur.
Call it this, the throne.
It's just a blur. Literally just a blob, a blur in the middle of a frame. This is what it came out of. When it came out of the AI, it looked like this. And I look at it and think cast iron molding. It's got the look of a cast iron one-piece bodywork that you would have like in the old cast foundry pieces for ships and that. We got iron.
Yeah, it looks like there's a couple of rivet holes.
No, rivet holes, but I think it's definitely a cast piece of metal.
And did you colorize that?
Nope.
No colorizing on that?
Nope, that isn't colorized at all. No filtration, just normal enhancement.
Wow. And these look like almost fins, don't they? The size.
They are.
Wow. Look at this.
This one has a very slight browny orangey filtration on it. Okay, it was pure white, and it was shining out so bright. Even when I took the brightness down, there was no detail, so I had to get a little bit of brown filtration there, just enough to try and reveal any detail, and it sure did. See the left hand side? There's something inside there sticking out.
Yeah.
Just there.
Yeah.
I still get gobsmacked when I look at it now. I think, well, what the heck have I found here?
And what about that purple bit at the bottom, or that movie bit?
That just appeared.
That just appeared. Wow.
That's been there. I don't know.
Wow.
I could literally look at these all day long.
Wow, look at this one. Extraordinary.
Now somebody said to me, they got hieroglyphics on it. And I thought to myself, no, it's not hieroglyphics. For me, it reminds me more of Aztec.
But it's incredibly complex, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, all of these straight lines, these curves.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, I mean, this is
I know. I'd love anyone. This is the beautiful one. This is really got some detail in it. You've got like an entranceway.
Yeah.
Because I can't see anything in beyond, but there probably is. AI rather, that's brought out the detail on it.
And so you just put a little bit of gold on that?
Mm-hmm.
just to bring it up a
Yeah,
bit.
that's my standard. I don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, you're just going to make it totally false. So I put a very light 10 or 20%
10 or
filtration on
Yeah.
to a plain surface, especially if it's very bright light, and it will take down the brightness and just give you like a sunglass effect, but just bring out the
Amazing.
detail on it. This isn't absolutely no filtration at all. A simple re-enhancement.
What is that?
Now, I thought to myself, this could be a space rock, could be natural debris.
I've seen these edges, these kind of folded over
Yeah.
edges on 2 or 3 others we've looked at.
You can see why I thought maybe it was a bit of space debris to begin with. Just floating its way, minding its own business. You're right, it has got 1 or 2 quite straight
We've got these
edges.
fold over edges, and some of the others have too that are of a similar look. And I thought, well, that's created. So it looks like a blanket of some kind. And maybe it's for farming certain gases or for.
Well, that's again, it's a
Who knows?
2021 re-enhanced.
Very unusual, very different again.
Thank you.
And look at this baby.
Just when you think you've seen it all, this is what pops up out of the. It's got that sort of Nordic look. It's got that sort of patternization.
Yeah. Did you
love it.
colorize this one to any degree?
Nope.
Nothing at all.
Again,
This
I
one.
think that's. Look, I'm just looking. No, it hasn't. Hasn't got any gold filtration on that at all. Huh. No, it's incredible.
It is really something else, Nigel. You've done a fantastic
you.
job with.
Again,
this.
all credit goes to the AI app. 50
Seeing
times better.
quite like this, and look at this, for goodness sake. This is very unusual.
Yeah, I actually had somebody say, "Don't you think it's a bit risque?" And to be honest with you, I hadn't noticed.
Well,
And I suppose it does look a bit risque, one way or the other, but this has got about a 10% gold filtration on it again.
what
Because
an
it doesn't
unusual
quite sunlight.
object. But look on this part, and
Lord
it
knows
looks
what
like
it
there's a plinth here, doesn't there? I mean,
Yeah.
kind of station on the
It-
exterior.
Again, it's too exact to be distortion and pixelation. It's that is not pixelated,
No,
and
no.
I hesitate to say that that's a natural shape object. I don't think
That
so.
looks like it's been engineered. I'm sorry, but it really does.
It's sculptured and
they all do.
engineered.
And look at this.
Yes.
beauty.
Somebody said today that they saw the Eye of Horus, Egyptian symbolism, in one of the things. Now, that would be interesting. Our friend that said their hieroglyphics on.
I did see that Eye of Horus one. I can't remember which object it was now, but just
But
look
look
at
at this.
this
Look at the
down
detail.
here. I mean, unbelievable. And what is that?
I don't know. I think there's there's dark in that dark patch on the right. There is detail hidden.
Yeah.
But this is just extremely complex. The edge looks machined.
Yeah, it does.
Looks totally flat. As I said, my dad was an engineer, and I worked on car engines, and that looks like a cylinder head edge would be totally milled down, machined, absolutely flat. They've opened it up, and you're looking at the inside of whatever it is.
Absolutely.
I think that down there where that dark patternization is, I think there's more to be revealed there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're
Okay.
right. I think you're absolutely right.
There
Absolutely
you go.
beautiful. Enjoy a saunter through even more of these incredible anomalous objects. And if you want to contact Nigel about his work, his website is http://nigelsparanomalworld.simplesite.com/452663338. His other contact details are mobile 0791 6233 721 and email nigelwright604@gmail.com.